Hi class, hope all is well at home. I just wanted to shoot a quick video that goes over how to write this large paper. I'm going to talk about a couple points that are important for you to note, and then I'm going to probably shoot a couple more videos as we go along, but I wanted to give you some information to get you started so you know how this type of paper falls together. So by the end of this week, you'll have your interview and your survey results in, and you have your annotated bib feedback, you have your field notes finished, so you're ready to write the paper. It's an APA paper, so you're still going to need your title page, you're still going to need your abstract. Your abstract is really going to cover items like you'll bring in and say, of course, that this is an ethnography or research ethnography. You'll say third person information, let them know the 5 sources you used. Plus, you want to include that you used your primary research. So you'll say, Rivard utilized unpublished survey, personal interview, and 2 field visits with this particular group, as well as secondary sources such as, and then you can list the names and titles, or you can do it separately as long as it's included in there. Basically, you'll throw in what your hypothesis was about the group, which will be in your introduction, what you're trying to find out research-wise, and then what your conclusions were. So even though it seems odd to put your conclusions in there, you do include that in the abstract. Your keywords should include research ethnography and the subgroup that you're studying for sure, if not other things that you feel are pertinent. So that's just a really quick overview of the abstract. When you go to the actual body of the paper, you're going to start out, you'll take that subculture question and answer that we did in class, where you answered the questions about, what kind of challenges do you think you'll face? What kind of stereotypes are involved with this particular group? And you will write in your introduction, basically what brought you to this? Why are you studying this group? What drew you to this particular group? What challenges and information that you think you face? What your hypothesis is about what you thought the group was about before you started studying them, and what you thought it was going to be like researching them. And then you'll also talk about your research questions. So your research questions should be also included in that. So you'll put in, what was it that you were trying to find out about this group? That's what you want to include. That'll be your first paragraph. And then the body of the paper actually gets broken into different topics about that particular group. So if, for example, you were studying ska dancing, and there was a group of ska dancers that you would go and watch to dancing to ska music, you might include obviously some sort of historical background about them. Where did ska come from? Where are its roots? What type of music did it come off of? You might talk about the dance moves. You might talk about the people in the group. Make sure you're talking about the subgroup. That is very, very important, and that your paper is about the subgroup and not about what other researchers have said, because this is new research you've created. You do need to include all 5 sources. All 5 sources have to be cited in your paper somewhere, and you have to have 2 artifacts. So some people have asked me, what can I use for an artifact? Any image that, speaks to something important about the group, and if you have specific questions, we can talk about it one-on-one. On Wednesday, I can log in during class time, and we can talk through what types of things would be useful artifacts for yours. But generally, they're photographs that would help define and help people understand. Sometimes it's a map, sometimes it's an outfit that the people wear, sometimes it's a handout they have, something with their schedule on it. But you need to have 2 of those in there, and in the 2 artifacts, somewhere within the paper, you're going to need to say, label it as figure 1, and then within your paper you would say, see figure 1 at right. So if you're talking about a bowling league and you're saying all of them had the same bowling shirt for the league, and here's a picture of the one that they were all wearing, see figure 1 at right. And then same thing for figure 2. I'm going to post other student papers as well this week, so you can see some more examples than we originally posted. When you get completed and you've hit all the different topics of your paper, and by that I mean So you had the topic about the historical background, you had the topic about the dancing, you had the topic about musical influences. Maybe one of your research questions was, how does one even get interested in ska dancing? So where were their influences? Who got them involved? That might be a whole paragraph. Those are not labeled, like you're not going to put the word influences at the top. Those are academic subheadings, which go to the left. So it might say influences. And then in that portion, you just talk about it. Those academic subheadings, they serve as transitions between the topics we're talking about. So you'll put those in. And then when you get all your topics, now the paper has to be 5 to 7 pages long. Generally, people, actually 7 to 10 pages long. Generally, people do at least 7. I've had 56-page papers, believe it or not, because they have a lot to say and talk about them. So you want to make sure you're including very concise information and information that's important to help us understand the group. So make sure, again, you're focusing on the group. When you get to the end and you hit the conclusion, you have to do 2 things. First thing you have to do is compare your hypothesis to your results. So you went through and what you originally thought the group was going to be like, how did that match up with the results after your research? And secondly, you must say where the research will continue. So I finished studying, this group of ska dancers at Jimmy Dean's bar, and now I'd like to study other ska dancers at other bars in Michigan, as well as those across other states that I want to reach out to, and I'd like to see if there's ska dancing in other countries and see if they handle it differently. You're just letting them know that this research could continue forever. So hypothesis to results and where the research will continue. So that's a really quick overview of what the paper should look like, and I'll post extra papers to show you, and I will also try to um, write up some of this information so you can see it as well. But if you have questions, email me. I can send out a poll and see if Wednesday works for people. Since nobody attended last time, I want to make sure that maybe now that we're in our homes all the time, that you'll be able to check in. All right? Best of luck. See you soon.